Hello, folks. Sorry for the wait. Thanks for joining in here on a live Top Producer webinar. This is your host, Spencer, with Top Producer's Customer Success Team. And so this is going to be getting started with Top Producer X. So, whether you're a brand new Top Producer CRM user altogether, or maybe you've just made the switch to the brand new Top Producer X from the previous version, good to have you here. I'm going to make sure that we cover some key points for configuring your CRM first before it's really ready for day-to-day usage. So if you have already set up your Top Producer CRM, please feel free to join in on our Thursday webinar instead, or you can hang around, and I'm sure there's some great tips and tricks for you to learn here anyway. Yeah. So guys, before we begin, feel free to reach out in the chat. Let me know how the sound quality is. Let me know if you can hear me. Just one sec here, guys. And yeah, anyway, before we begin, just to cover some administrative items. As I said, this is getting started with Top Producer CRM. I'm your host, Spencer, and I'm also joined by my friend and colleague, Marvin LaRosa, in the live chat there. So Marvin's joining in to, as usual, answer questions and help out in the chat, provide some really great links to go along with whatever we're talking about today on our support page, and things like that. So guys, our shows are all interactive. To join in and ask questions and comments and feedback and things like that, all you have to do is use the chat feature on Zoom, or if you're on YouTube, just make sure you're logged in with a Google account, and that's going to allow you to join in the live chat there. We monitor it on both platforms, so not to worry if you're on Zoom or YouTube. Either way, we would like to hear from you guys. And speaking of which, feel free to reach out. Anything you'd like to share as we begin here, feel free to share, how long you've been using Top Producer for, whereabouts it is in North America that you do real estate, and things like that. How long you've been at that and things like that would be really great to hear from you guys. And at any point during the show, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, I should say. Yeah, so just want to point out that, maybe we may come across something today that might raise some more questions for you. Not to worry, our customer care team is always here if you need them. You can just reach out using the live chat feature in the bottom right corner of your Top Producer products. Click on Get Help Now. You'll be instantly connected with one of our senior customer care reps. You can also call us at 1-800-830-8300. Please note both of those options are available Monday to Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. In Pacific Standard Time. And you can also email us at support@topproducer.com. Contact our help desk team, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can. All right, guys. So this is the game plan for today. We're going to be going over Top Producer X CRM settings, how to configure your MLS connectivity, your email integration, texting, all that kind of good stuff so that your CRM is as good to go as it possibly can be for usage. And obviously, here and there may be some differences or some things that are a little bit custom to you and may not apply specifically. So in that case, you can always contact our customer care team after the show for that one-on-one experience. This is just a general setup webinar. Unfortunately, can't be tailored to any one person or a specific business setup. And we'll talk about ways to build your database. So importing contacts from a spreadsheet, using our contact sync, all great ways to get your contacts into Top Producer, structure your database. I'll make sure to point out some best practices along the way to make sure that things go well and smooth for you. And then we'll talk about the follow-up coach for cleaning up and following up with your database at the same time. Great built-in feature to get on track and stay on track with your database, making sure that no opportunities fall through the cracks there. And then finally, we'll finish off reiterating once again how to contact us for support and help, and where to find all of the resources for Top Producer X and things like that. Sorry, one sec here, guys. So before we begin, actually, just want to do a quick poll here. I believe I should have some polls available. Here we go. So this is my welcome poll to you guys. So welcome to Better Client Relationships with Top Producer CRM. Is this your first real estate CRM, or have you used one before? And I do apologize about the unfortunate mistype there with missed an H on the with, but I think you guys will hopefully forgive me. So yeah, just want to hear from you guys. Is this your first CRM? Are you excited to start using it to maintain your business? Or maybe you've used a CRM before, but you're brand new to Top Producer. Or maybe you just have used Top Producer CRM before, but you're brand new to Top Producer X, the newest version that we're covering today. Just curious, feel free to participate, guys. If not, totally okay as well. But just fun to hear where you guys are at and how you're feeling and what your situation is. So I'll give it just a few more seconds there. All right, perfect. So I'm going to share those results. That's pretty interesting. We have a couple of viewers that have all just used Top Producer before, but they're brand new to Top Producer X. So guys, great to have you here. Going to make sure that you have what you need to get started. Perfect. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you. All right. So moving in, actually, sorry, before we begin, just in case we have any brand new users watching today, just want to give you a quick little walkthrough and demo of how to get logged in for the first time. Maybe you just signed up today or the other day or something like that. You're not sure where to go and you're or what that welcome email looks like or something like that. Let me just give you a quick little about 2-minute demo of what that looks like. For anyone that this is not relevant to, I do appreciate your patience. Just got to make sure our new customers are taken care of. So let me just switch on over here. Sorry guys, one moment. All right, here is a little demo of getting started with Top Producer X. So the email that you should be looking out for in your inbox if you're brand new is welcome to better client relationships with Top Producer X CRM. It'll be coming from sales@move.com. Your username and password will be right down there in the middle of the email. Just click on the Get Started button to begin. This is going to bring you to the Top Producer X login screen. Just enter your login credentials there. You can always change your password later. Please don't worry about that. I would recommend just getting right in there as soon as possible with the default password for the time being. You'll be met with the subscriber agreement if you're brand new. So guys, if you're not exactly sure what the terms and conditions are of your subscription, the 3-day money back guarantee, 30-day trial period, evaluation period, and the 1-year term, I do highly recommend that you reach out to your sales rep just to discuss that a little bit further before you commit to that. Once you're okay with that, please feel free to continue onto the My Information page. This is your CRM's internal profile. I would recommend just filling out mobile phone number, checking on your email, make sure that's the best one for you to recover your account, reset your password, that sort of thing. And just check your time zone at the bottom. And guys, once again, you can always come back here later. Not a huge rush to fill out everything right away. So it's going to ask you if you'd like to add or import contacts. So we'll cover importing contacts later. So for now, let's just add a single contact and see what that looks like. So in this example, this is going to be my good old tried and true mock-up contact here, Jim Gordon. I have not yet had anyone reach out in the chat to let me know if they understand that reference. If you are a DC comic book fan or DC movie fan, you may understand that name. So please reach out and let me know if you appreciate that. But anyway, we're going to fill in some just make-believe information here for Mr. Gordon. Excuse me. So we have contact status up next, guys. So this is a representation of where someone is in your business's pipeline. So we have new for new leads, engage for leads you've followed up with but not yet qualified, future for future prospects, sphere of influence, that sort of thing, active for active current clients, close for contacts you've just finished a transaction with. So in this example, let's pretend that Jim is a engaged lead that we've just started contact with. We know he's a buyer. We're going to add that in as a contact type, or maybe he's a referral, for example. Let's also tag him with that. So from the get-go, we're effectively using contact statuses and contact types to keep our database organized. So here's a brand new record for Jim. We have his name and his contact information on the left side. We can easily navigate through the contact record to get to where we need to be, bring up the information we need to, or document phone calls, things like that. We can see his status at any time. The last touch on his record, next important date, and the most recent notes for this contact. We can always go down to edit contact at the bottom if we need to change anything. But for now, that's perfectly okay. I'm just going to close that out. So yeah, that's just a quick little demo of the contact record. Getting logged in for the very first time if you're a brand new user, finding that email, agreeing to the subscriber agreement, making sure that you have an understanding of that, and then going through that first time setup, getting your profile filled out just a little bit at least, and then jumping into the CRM. So guys, thanks for bearing with me there. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into our first point of teaching. So first point for today is creating a solid foundation for success with TPX by learning about its vital settings first. So guys, everything from email history, calendar sync, MLS connectivity, things like that, you'll definitely want to know what they're for, how to use them, and how to take advantage of them to really benefit your business. So let's jump into TPX and see what some of this looks like. So I am logged into Top Producer X here. Let me just reset this just to make it look kind of default. And guys, if you are not sure how to get to TPX, there's a couple ways to do so. Marvin has the link in the chat here for you, crm.topproducer.com. So if you're not sure what CRM stands for, it actually stands for Customer or Client Relationship Management. So crm.topproducer.com. If you're in Top Producer 8i Classic, please feel free to click the TPX button just along the top menu bar, home, contacts, calendar, listings and closings, etc. TPX with the big TP logo in blue and green. And that will log you right into Top Producer X as well. If you guys need any help, please reach out in the chat. Be more than happy to help. You can also contact our customer care team if you'd like as well. So jumping into TPX, what you can expect to see right off the bat is your contacts page. So you can see your sales pipeline represented by these tabs along the top of the screen. So once again, new for brand new leads, people that should be contacted right away, and then switch to engage as soon as possible to signify that you have started follow-up efforts or you have contacted them, but they're not yet qualified. Like I said, this could be like a buyer that you're not sure if they're just browsing casually or if they're actually serious or if they're actually going to be good to go with their bank for loans, so on and so forth, right? And if they're not, if you want to stay in touch with them long term, maybe they're months or years out from wanting to buy or sell, you can switch in the future to signify that they're a future prospect, a long-term opportunity. Or if they're good to go right now and you are actively working to help them find their dream home or help them sell a home, you can switch them to active to signify that they're current active opportunity in your business. You are set to make money off of that and everyone's going to have a good time. And then closed is for that, final stage for now. You just finished handling a listing for someone or closing and you move them to closed and everyone's happy for now. And you can always move contacts to a different status later. Maybe that past client wants to buy an investment property years from now. You can always move them back to active if that is the case. And then you'll see here there's all these different contact types, as I mentioned. You want to tag your contacts with contact types as much as possible, keeping them organized. We see that Bobby here is tagged as a past client. He's also tagged as a seller, because in this example, we could say that he was a past seller. Maybe he has another property that he would still potentially be wanting to sell at some point. And he's a listing prospect there as well. So these are all tags that I can use to organize my contacts, do custom searches, make my own custom tabs, and so on and so forth. Target people for specific marketing materials, emailing, things like that, guys. So really highly recommend ample use of contact types. And if you'd like to learn more about that, highly recommend you either give us a call at customer care or join me on my Thursday show or combination of both. And I tend to delve into that a lot more in my Thursday post-setup coaching show. So we have a question from Mohammed here. And Mohammed, thanks for joining in. I definitely recognize your name. So sir, good to have you here again. Thank you for joining. Mohammed's asking, we can move all my clients from 8i to TPX. So Mohammed, the good news is your contacts are already in TPX. Best way to think of it, 8i, TPX, two different windows into your same contact database. Just different ways of viewing them, aesthetic differences, right? And obviously a lot of new features and upgrades in Top Producer X. But that being said, your contacts are both accessed. It's the same database, whether you're accessing them through 8i or TPX. So all you have to do is log into TPX and your contacts are already there waiting for you, Mohammed. So good question. Let me know if you need anything else. All right, guys. So like I said, I tend to delve into more of the database management, pipeline management, that kind of stuff in my Thursday show. For now, we are going to jump into the settings and make sure your CRM is all configured first. Oh, Mohammed saying thanks. No problem, sir. Happy to help. So let's go down to the settings button in the bottom left corner. And right off the bat, you'll notice that it shows my information. So this is the same screen essentially that you see when you first log in for the very first time. You can edit my info at the bottom. If you need to upload some photos, add in your business address, phone numbers, social media links, etc. So please note this isn't super vital to fill out right away, as I mentioned, unless you have Market Snapshot, which is part of the Top Producer Pro bundle, because Market Snapshot is a powerful targeted marketing tool that allows you to send out, custom market snapshot reports to your buyers, your sellers, your past clients, just about anyone to keep in touch, stay top of mind with them, provide them with a valuable report. So in that case, if you do have Market Snapshot, you're definitely going to want to attach your pictures, fill out your information so that you have a fully fleshed out sort of profile attached to your report that people can use to contact you or find out more information. So after you fill that out, just make sure you hit Save My Info. And we're going to jump down to Calendar Sync next on the so third option down from the top here. So guys, Calendar Sync, great supplementary feature to make sure that your appointments are synchronized to your external calendar service. So the reason I say supplementary is because Top Producer CRM and most CRMs in general, to be honest, have usually pretty robust task management systems, and TPX's is quite good in my opinion. So because if I go to my task page on the left side here, I'm going to be able to see my appointments, my calls, my to-dos. I can click on overdue and see what I may be behind on, and I can catch up on that. I can sort by team members if I am on a team. Lots of different things, right? It's pretty cohesive. So you'll want to be, taking care of your tasks, wrapping them up in here, marking them as done. Great chat. Talk again soon. And, schedule your follow-up calls with your contacts and things like that, and keep the ball rolling with them, right? But that being said, obviously you have your time sensitive appointments, your meetings, your showings, things like that you obviously can't miss, right? So that's where Calendar Sync really comes in to help you with that, because anything that's booked as an appointment, which is has a time, not just a date, will be synchronized. So your standard task will not be synchronized, because guys, you can just imagine how cluttered your Google Calendar, your Office 365 calendar would get if everything could synchronize. You wouldn't like it, trust me. So that's why your day-to-day tasks, your cold calls that you have, whenever you get a chance scheduled, your to-dos are meant to be taken care of right within Top Producer. But your appointments, obviously, we want to make sure you don't miss those when you're on the go. Using technology that you've already been using perhaps for years on your smartphone. So if you'd like to integrate your calendar, all you have to do is punch in the email address associated with your calendar service. So if you're on an Android phone, chances are you're probably using Google Calendar. And, same if you're on an iPhone, chances are you're probably using iCalendar, but not always. I know a lot of Apple users still use Google. So you'll want to figure out which calendar service you use exactly, and then integrate that email that's associated with that. So to do that, it would basically look sort of like this box in email integration. You just pop in your email address, hit authorize, follow the steps. Now, we do support Office 365, Outlook, Google, and Apple Calendar. And so most of them are pretty straightforward. You just follow a couple steps, give it a few permissions, click continue, that sort of thing. Please give it some time after you set this up, about 10-15 minutes at the very least. And even if it takes a while for your appointments to start synchronizing over, please don't be alarmed. It can just take a little bit of time to first begin, and then you should be good to go after that. Because yeah, guys, it is a bi-directional sync. So any appointments booked in Top Producer, go to your third-party calendar. And any appointments booked in your third-party calendar, go to your Top Producer. So quite nice. If you're using iCloud Calendar, or sorry, Apple Calendar, I should say, please note you will have to log in to your Apple iCloud account. You have to create what's called a one-time use app password. It's a security feature by Apple. So that way you'll have to create a temporary password to use instead of your regular password. You'll also have to use your actual iCloud.com address. So guys, to find out more about that, just highly recommend you reach out to customer care. I've got our number up there if you're an iCloud user. It's a little bit too difficult to explain during the show today. So just want to make sure if there's any iCloud users that want to integrate their email, their calendar, etc., highly recommend you reach out to our customer care team at the 1-800 number there, and we can help you. Moving on down next to email integration. So this will be the 6th option down. So email integration, this is specifically for all the great emailing features in Top Producer X. So everything from sending and receiving emails, like viewing email history and contact records, doing group email, to target your groups with marketing materials, things like that. Scheduled automated emails as part of task plans, and email tracking built in. That is what this is for, guys. So if you're using let's say a Google account for your business, you'll want to enter that Gmail account. If you're using Office 365 address, you want to enter that in there. You can enter more than one address. As you see down here, I do have 2 different emails integrated. They're currently running, which means they're good to go. So yeah, feel free to integrate whichever email addresses are relevant to you and your business, whichever ones you want to send from to your contact database, whichever ones you want to see email history for in your contact records. So just put your email address in there, follow the steps. Most email providers are quite easy. If you are using, let's say, a brokerage provided Exchange server, Microsoft server, it may need some very specific server settings in order to connect, in which case I highly recommend you reach out to your system administrator, IT department if you have one, or IT guy, or maybe even your manager may have that information available if that's the case. But guys, always recommended that if you're not sure, please don't sit on the issue. Just give us a call and we can help you, nail down the issue and get that taken care of as soon as possible. Perfect. So moving down next to email signatures. So after you've integrated one or more email addresses, you can then apply signature to it. So unfortunately, there's no real way to automatically pull your signature over from your Google account, your Outlook account, etc. That's kind of a proprietary thing on their side. So what the next best thing you can do here is maybe even copy and paste your existing signature in here. So for example, this one says has signature no. I'm just going to want to click anywhere on this line for it. Open up the editor and then either put together my signature here. And then save it, and then I can insert images, I can apply links, insert links, all that kind of good stuff, formatting, bullet points, etc. Or like I said, if you have an existing signature, highly recommended that you try to copy and paste that over. As long as it doesn't have too much formatting to it and a bunch of images and special text and things like that, should work fine. I would say give it a try first. But if you have any issues with it, guys, please just reach out to our customer care team and we can assist with that. Moving on down next to lead providers. So guys, chances are many of you likely have online lead sources, whether they're free or paid. And this, a couple examples could be a website where people can fill out a contact form to inquire about your services. Another example could be Zillow or Realtor.com or one of those big names like that you buy lead products from. Either way, you can get those leads right into your Top Producer CRM so that you don't have to add your contacts manually every time. To do that, all you have to do is find this myleads.io address, click on copy, and then basically go into your lead provider's settings. Usually it's called lead forwarding settings or lead notification settings, and paste that address in there when it asks you which address you'd like to be notified at. And guys, if your leads provider gives you the option to put in more than one email address, I do usually recommend having it continue to go to your standard email address in addition to your myleads.io address, because that way you'll still receive that familiar email notification as you're likely used to, but you'll also get it pushed into your top producer automatically, brand new contact waiting for you under the new status tab in your sales pipeline. And then you can just take action on that, update that record, move them through the pipeline, tag them with contact types, so on and so forth. So guys, we do have over 150 officially supported lead providers. Just click on this link to see that list. But yeah, if you have any questions, any concerns, or need any help with routing your lead sources into Top Producer, guys, once again, always best to reach out to our customer care team and with the number in the top left, or use live chat. All right, so next up on the list is Market Snapshot. So guys, Market Snapshot, as I mentioned earlier, is definitely the most powerful targeted marketing tool we have. It's a great add-on to Top Producer X. Basically, custom market reports to all sorts of contacts. Very versatile. So think of it this way. You have your buyers, your buyer leads. You want to provide them with some properties to search and look through and browse. send them a market snapshot of all the available properties in the area they're interested in. Or maybe you have a seller and the seller wants to see if it's a good time to sell right now, how the market's looking, what his neighbors are selling their houses for, so on and so forth. Send him a market snapshot so he can compare the properties and things like that and see what's going on. Or maybe there's a past client that you want to stay top of mind with, quarterly or every half a year. Send them a market snapshot focused on their property as well. Treat them like a potential seller, right? Focus it on their property, show them what's going on in their neighborhood, stay top of mind. And honestly, they might really like that information, and it's something that you're sending them a value. You can still, of course, check in, send a personal email, so on and so forth, but market snapshot, always a good option as well. So this is the settings for market snapshot if you have it. If you are brand new to market snapshot, I do usually recommend maybe not touching the settings too much, if at all, just because as you start to turn off settings here, you are limiting options in the market snapshot for the most part. Especially if you were to turn off the notifications, that would kind of limit what you receive, and I think you want likely as much information as possible about what people are using their snapshots for. That being said, if you do want to change anything, make sure you save your settings at the bottom. So market snapshot report, guys, extremely useful. Let me just give you a quick little glimpse into what one of these looks like here. So just take a few seconds here to load out. So this is a market snapshot report. This is for a seller in this example. As you can see, it's focused on their property up here. It's showing homes for sale. Looks like it's a seller's market, average sold price, asking price, average days on market. All these stats are based on a 90-day trend. So good to know. This will show up to 100 listings at a time, or 100 properties, I should say. And it goes back, I believe 3 months, if I remember correctly. So lots of properties to browse through here. I can click on the map. I can zoom and pan and everything. Maybe let's just say, for example, I'm actually a buyer and I don't care about the sold properties too much. I can click on sold and they're gone. Maybe I want to hide everything except new and new for sale. That's easy. Then I can click on a property here and find out more. Click on it on the right side and see full property details, all the pictures from the MLS here, and I can inquire with the agent that sent me it right away, right here. Then you can obviously take action on that, document that in your top Producer CRM, and go from there. So guys, if you want to find out more about Market Snapshot, just reach out in the chat. Marvin and I would be happy to get you in touch with someone on our sales team to go over a demo and give you more information and things like that. Make sure it's the right solution for you. So jumping back to Top Producer X, let's go back to the settings. And next up is MLS Credentials. So guys, if you have Market Snapshot, or even if you don't and you just want to take advantage of the other MLS connected features that are included for free, MLS Credentials is where you'll have to go to configure that. So all you have to do is click on Add MLS Credentials, search for your board here. And guys, this is a very long list. I do really recommend that you actually just type it in and narrow it down that way. So let's say you're with North Texas. I'm going to type in North Texas, and there, see, that's a lot easier to find it that way. NTR EIS or NITRIS. And then I would put in my username and password if applicable. Some MLSs only need a ID number username, such as, let's see, how about California Regional MLS or California? Yeah, there we go. So see, it would just need an agent MLS ID number, whatever your ID number is, and then click on Save Credentials. And then it should say valid if your credentials are valid. If you are 100% sure your credentials are correct and you're getting it error saying it's invalid, I would say reach out to our customer care team as soon as possible. There's likely something else that we have to look into to get that to work. But thankfully, we have lots of information on our side, lots of notes and things like that, details about different MLSs. So just reach out, we can help you get that set up. And guys, you can actually add more than one MLS, please note. So if you are a member of multiple boards, feel free to repeat this process until you've added all your boards, as long as they're all supported, and most of them are. And guys, if you look for your board here and it's not available, or you contact us and we confirm that it's one of the few that are not supported, we can always put in a compatibility request And you know, more agents we get into that, the more likely that MLS is to get supported. But that being said, there are tons that are supported, like quite a substantial amount. So all right, so guys, this is going to let you not only use Market Snapshot if you have it, it's also going to let you use Property Insights and Transactions, which are included features in the basic CRM package. You know, Property Insights is for buyers, keeping track of all the inquiries and interest in different properties, all the way up until they make an offer on something, which is when it goes into the Transactions feature, which is also going to save you some time with that MLS connectivity. So moving down next to Task Plans Manager. And also, guys, Marvin, just a heads up in the chat there, Marvin's got a link to our form for MLS compatibility request. If your MLS is one of the few that is not supported, please fill out that form. Just put, you know, when it asks for a rep name at the bottom, just put my name or Marvin's name. Either way, all good to go. So yeah, guys, next up is Task Plans Manager. So this is where you go to configure task plans for staying on track with anything from new lead follow-up, past client check-in plans, sphere of influence prospecting plans, and then for transactions, you know, buyer under contract checklist, listing checklist, all that kind of stuff, guys. So very powerful tool. There are some built-in plans in case you're not sure where to start. All you have to do is click on Browse Templates, click on Search Plans by name or type, and then look through the list of available templates here. And so maybe you really want an example of a seller prospecting plan. Just click on this one, and it's going to say day one. It's going to have an email ready to send out. Actually, excuse me, it's going to go out automatically the day after, because day 0 is always a start date. It's going to remind you to sign them up for a Market Snapshot report on day 5. Going to remind you to call them on day 8 and check in. Remind you to send an email template based on the current market conditions on day 45. General reconnects automated email on day 145, so on and so forth. So guys, all you have to do is apply this to your contacts. It puts all those tasks onto their contact record automatically, and then you just follow the plan. You check in your top producer, check on your task list, see what's on your plate for today, take care of any pending tasks, or let any automated emails just do their thing. So really, really powerful, really great to be consistent with your follow-up and your transactions and things like that. You can also create your plans from scratch, structure them in any way that you want, add in additional tasks, add in additional days, lots of different things you can do here, guys. You can even make transaction plan tasks depend on key dates in the transaction. So 5 days before inspection date, 2 days before closing date, all that kind of stuff. And that's going to adapt to every single transaction that you use it on. So very smart, very adaptable, very easy to use. So a little bit outside the scope of what this webinar covers, but just want to let you guys know what's there. Feel free to join Marvin and I on Thursday to find out more, or give our customer care team a call, and we'll give you that one-on-one walkthrough of task plans. So next up, actually going to jump down to template library, because it kind of goes hand in hand with the task plans manager, because this is where you can make your own email, and if you're in the States, SMS texting templates. So email templates, guys, we have a bunch of built-in system ones. Some of them are part of plans, some of them are just there standalone. You can also create your own templates from scratch, as you can see here, add from scratch. You'll see that I have a personal template here, and I have an pencil icon. This means that I've created this one myself, and this allows me to edit it. Because guys, just a heads up, little tip, if you click anywhere on the actual name of the template, the system is going to assume that you want to use that as a starting point to create a new template. But if you click on the pencil edit, that's going to let you edit that exact template without creating a new copy. So just a small tip there. Yeah, you can click on add from library and see what we have to offer. You can browse through here, buyer taking a long time to decide. That's basically going to say, hey, quick question. Would you be open-minded to me making some small changes to your home search criteria? If it meant I could, you could find the perfect home faster. You know, there's lots of different things covered here. Events, lead conversion, asking for, you know, light survey, past client check-in, so on and so forth. So if you find something you like, but you want to change it a little bit, just click on it, then click on Customize Template. You can edit this to your liking. You can remove this merge cone at the bottom. If you have your email signature set up, it might be better to just rely on your email signature to sign off. You can put links in here. You can change the wording. And guys, highly recommend that you go in, pick and choose and edit these to your liking, or just start from scratch. Because I think it kind of goes without saying that you guys know your market better, you know your clientele better, how to talk to them. Pretty much anything that you would say is going to be better than what we have to come up with, just because it's going to be customized. It's going to sound a lot like you. And guys, you can still use those time and time again, so not to worry. So template library, very, very powerful. And like I said, if you're in the States, we do have texting for our US customers currently. You can actually make your own texting templates for all sorts of things. So let's talk about team management really quick. This is for our brokers or team leaders that are using Top Producer and have their team put together in Top Producer CRM. This is where you go to manage the users on your team. So you see in the top left, I have one unused license. This means I could use it to add an agent to my team. All I have to do is fill out their basic information, set a username and password for them. I recommend setting this to something fairly generic, at least initially, and then passing that along to your agent, and then making sure that they, reset their password and make it something much more secure and personalized afterwards. And then at the bottom here, you can set permissions and rights. So guys, this is very important if you're a team leader. Make sure that you're setting your permissions correctly, not giving your agents too much permissions or too little permissions, depending on what you want them to be able to do. So access data, contacts, transactions. If you have that on, this allows this agent to see all the contacts of everyone on the team and all the transactions and transaction records. So if you don't want that, please keep that off. But guys, please note, if you want them to handle a transaction that you've put together in your system, not a problem. You can actually go into the transaction, click on add agent, and you can manually add them to that, which gives them access, even if they don't have this access granted here. Delete or merge data and export data. This is primarily for Top Producer 8i, the classic version of the CRM that we still have available, because you can merge duplicate contacts, you can export to spreadsheets and things like that. And then delete is kind of self-explanatory, deleting contacts, deleting tasks, notes, things like that. So just make sure you set these properly. If you're not sure, guys, how to handle this, highly recommend you reach out to customer care. We can go over this with you and make sure that you have the best options set for your team, your setup, and how you run your business. So please note, guys, if you want to add an assistant user to support an agent, unfortunately, that's currently not available in Top Producer X. You can do it through Top Producer 8i. If you're just really not sure how to go about that, though, once again, please reach out to customer care. We can help you with that process and make sure that your assistant is added in there. So they may not show up in here. We just have to fix that in an update, but they will still be able to log in and use it just fine. So last but not least is texting. So guys, as mentioned before, texting is available for our US customers, just because, as far as I know, our service that we're partnered with for that is American based. That's not to say that down the road it won't be available for Canadians. We would love that just as much as you guys would if you're a Canadian watching this. So just please stay tuned a little bit longer. There's a bunch of changes and improvements coming in the next few months as we fully migrate over to our new parent company, Constellation Real Estate Group. So guys, including some scheduled maintenance coming up to make sure that things are really good to go. So we will keep you informed about that when you log into the CRM and when you go to our website and on our Facebook user group and more, and via email as well, I believe. But anyway, a little bit off topic there. Texting setup, really great feature because you can text right out of the CRM. You can type them up on your keyboard, send them off, keep them documented in the contact records, use SMS templates for a quick follow-up. And guys, very, very soon, I believe this coming month, maybe mid-month or something like that, I heard recently that we should have mobile optimizations for Top Producer X starting to launch finally. So that means at that point, you'll be able to log into your Top Producer X on your smartphone and use that texting in an even better way, and just more often as well from your smartphone. So all you have to do is enter your phone number in this box here, no spaces or hyphens or anything. Click on Save Texting Setup. Confirm that on your phone by replying with the word confirm. Then just basically refresh your web browser. The refresh button in your web browser, or click on check status. There'll be a little blue button up here in the top right. And then your number will be registered. You'll be given a virtual texting number to use. that you can, advertise, put it on business cards, put it on your website, email signature, etc. Because if someone calls you at that number, it will route that call to your real phone. You will not miss any calls. And if they text you, it'll alert you from a notification number saying you have a new text message available from so-and-so in Top Producer X, click here. And like I said, especially once we launch that mobile optimization soon, you'll be able to just jump right into that text message on your phone. So guys, that is pretty much all of the primary settings covered for Top Producer X. Thanks for bearing with me now, or there I should say. Just want to quickly cover a couple different ways to import your contacts. Then we'll talk about how to get your database cleaned up before we finish up for today. Second point here is importing contacts from Spreadsheet or using our calendar sync feature. So guys, whether you have a Spreadsheet or spreadsheets coming from maybe an old CRM system, coming from your MLS, or maybe even something you've put together yourself over the years, chances are we can get that imported in some capacity into Top Producer X. Or I should say, or maybe you have some contacts in a Google account or an Office 365 account, or maybe you're an Apple user and you have them on your iCloud. We can also use Contact Sync to bring those in. So a couple key things to point out here. Importing from a spreadsheet is a bulk import, guys. So, it's just going to put everyone from that spreadsheet in there. You can tell the system which contact status to import into, which contact types to tag with, and where the field mappings should place the data from that spreadsheet. But you can't choose which contacts out of those are going in specifically. So any duplicates in your spreadsheet, unfortunately they will go in there. You have to clean them up after. But that being said, if you have contacts in your email service, and let's say there's some crossover there between what's in your spreadsheet and what's in your email service, highly recommend you set up Contact Sync afterwards, because our Contact Sync feature is great. It does have a built-in duplication checking and prevention. So highly recommended that you you import your spreadsheets first, then use Contact Sync second if you plan to use both. So jumping into Top Producer X, settings once again, bottom left corner, import contacts right here, fifth option down. So we are going to click on this and click on choose file to import for the first step here. And just 1 second here, guys. Let me find my example spreadsheet file. Sorry guys, my computer is going a little bit slow. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so here is my fake spreadsheet. I'm going to click on this, double click to open. It's going to upload it. And then I have to go through a couple different steps here to make sure my import goes as smoothly as possible. So first you have contact status, as I mentioned earlier, but in case you just joined in the show recently, this is a representation of where your contacts are in your business. So new for brand new leads that you need to contact right away. Engage is for leads that you followed up with, but they're not yet qualified. Future is for future prospects, long-term opportunities, sphere of influence, etc. Active is for active current clients, current opportunities. Close is for your clients that you've just finished a transaction with. Inactive is for just anyone else that's maybe they moved out of the country or they're just not a viable contact at all right now, but you don't want to delete them. Non-client is for, well, basically anyone that's not a client. Your vendors that you work with, other professionals, other realtors, things like that. So let's say you have your database from over the years and it's maybe 75-80% of it is just your sphere of influence, right? You'll probably want to select future because that's going to take care of most of your contacts, right? You can always go in and shift your past clients and other people into closed or wherever they belong by pinpointing them with the search afterwards. Contact types, this is sort of like a label or a tag. So you can actually import contact types if you have them in your spreadsheet. This feature up here specifically lets you tag everyone at the same time. So maybe you want to say old CRM import. You can do that. So that way you know that everyone is from your old CRM. Maybe you want to say MLS contacts. Or maybe this is a list of contacts from Zillow. You could say Zillow contacts, so on and so forth, right? So let's say this is my old CRM import. I could also maybe put the date on here if I wanted to, you know, that kind of thing. Nice thing to do just in case. Maybe this is primarily sphere of influence. I could say sphere of influence, click on it. Or maybe let's say this is a list of all past clients specifically. I could click on closed and I could type in past client and save myself the time there. So then scrolling down here, we have the field mappings, and this is definitely the most vital part because this ensures that all that valuable data from your spreadsheet is being put where it needs to be in Top Producer CRM. So sometimes your CRM can identify where it belongs automatically if the headers of your spreadsheet are viable for that. Otherwise, you'll probably see a lot of this where it says not mapped, not mapped, not mapped. And that's okay, guys. So this just means that you need to do it manually. It doesn't take long. So for example, given name, we would look at that and say, oh, well, here's some examples. This is obviously first name. So let's click on not mapped and then click on first name. Surname. Well, that's obviously last name, right? So let's click on last name. Street address. That's the first part of the street address. So let's click on this. I'm going to hit S on my keyboard a couple times to jump down to street/address and then click on it. City, that's going to go to city. Click on that. State, full to state. There it is. And so on and so forth, right? So there is tons of options in these field mappings here, guys. Please look through them thoroughly or reach out to customer care and we can advise you on which options would be best to choose. Email address, you might have email 1, 2, and 3 for your contacts. You'll likely want to map that to email address, other email, or other emails. Same thing with phone. You might have primary phone, secondary phone, third phone, that kind of thing. You probably want to map your primary phone to mobile phone in most cases. And then you can choose like business phone and home phone and other phone just to, you know, at least retain that data, right? So if you have a column in your spreadsheet that is tagging your contacts with seller, buyer, past client, realtor, vendor, etc., you can actually map that directly with contact type. So this lets you map your contacts individually with the data that's already in your spreadsheet. And if you have a notes section for your contacts where you know, you just have some notes that you need to save or some other information that doesn't quite have a place in Top Producer, you can select add to contact notes. And that's going to map it to the notes section. So you can use this multiple times. And so please feel free to use it for anything that you can't find a specific section for, because that'll at least retain it in the notes. So guys, after you've done that and you reviewed this 2 or 3 times, please don't worry if this takes 15, 20, 30 minutes. It's definitely worth the time to review, especially with our help. If you're not sure, you can always give us a call and we'd be happy to walk through this with you and kind of, you can bounce it off of us and make sure that you know, it's good to go. But after reviewing this, feel free to scroll down to the bottom and click on import contacts if you're sure this is all good. That'll take you back to the import contacts screen where it'll show you that it's in progress down here. Please just be patient. If it's hundreds or thousands of contacts, it is going to take at least a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. You can click on there'll be a check status button, or you can just go to contacts in the top left corner. Let's say you imported into future. Click on your future tab along the top of the pipeline here, and then you'll see your contacts. So guys, highly recommend that you take some time to review at least a few of them. Make sure that your import went really well. I would say click on the first couple here. Take a look at the information on the left side of their record. Did the person's name get mapped correctly? Did their phone number, email address, contact types, things like that get mapped properly? And then, you know, click through a few of them here on the left side. You can also scroll through them with the arrows in the contact record up here. You can also scroll through them with the left and right arrow keys on your keyboard, which is very easy to do to quickly scroll through them. And my computer is going slow right now, so I can't really show you a great example, but take my word for it. So guys, after you've ensured that your import was successful, you know, we can also talk about contact sync. So let's go back to settings. Contact sync is the 4th option down, and this is, as I said, specifically for bringing contacts from an email service. So Gmail, Google Apps, Outlook, Office 365, and Apple's iCloud are all supported. So guys, you may have to take some time to pinpoint which exact service your contacts are being saved in. Like I said, if you're an Android user, if anything, your Google contacts may be synchronizing to your Google account, Gmail account usually. If you're an iCloud user, usually they're being synchronized to iCloud, but not always. You'll have to pinpoint that information first. Just give us a call and we can help you with that. Fill in the email address here that is associated with your contacts. And guys, once again, a reminder, if you are an iCloud user and your iPhone is syncing your contacts to iCloud, you must use your @icloud.com address. You may have never seen this address before. You may have never used it once in your life, but you do need to use that address. It's kind of behind the scenes. Every single Apple iCloud account has an @icloud.com address. If you're not sure what it is or how to find it, I do highly recommend you reach out to Apple's support team. Help them, get them to help you find that address, and then use that one and create an app password in your iCloud account to gain access. So after you set this up, it will start pulling in all of your contacts. Guys, I have heard some concerns. Not everyone likes the idea of all their contacts coming into Top Producer from their email service. But guys, think of it this way. All those contacts are available in your Top Producer. You can shift them off to the side to inactive or non-client if you don't think they're relevant to your real estate business. But all those other professionals you have in your phone, the lawyers you work with, the inspectors you work with, so on and so forth, they'll be in here. And that's great because you can email them from here. You can link them up to tasks, transactions. You can set them to non-client, tag them with inspector or whatever. And then that way you can easily find them anytime you need. So highly recommended, guys. The advantages highly outweigh any perceived disadvantages. Would recommend the use of Contact Sync if you think that would supplement your database nicely. So guys, that is a couple different ways to build your contact database. We have a few minutes left here. So before we finish up, I'm just going to show you guys the follow-up coach and how you can use it to clean up your database, but also stay on track and use it for years to come. So follow-up coach is a great built-in feature that allows you to be reminded or have 5 people brought to your attention every single day at the very least that you should either follow up with or at least clean up the record, if not a combination of both. So follow-up coach, initially after your first 24 hours, of importing your contacts, it's going to come to life and start suggesting that you clean up your contact records and categorize them as they need to be categorized. After that, you can expect to see the follow-up coach to really start to give you relevant follow-up suggestions day to day based on where that contact is in your business, when was the last interaction with them, and so on and so forth. So let's look at a couple examples here of the follow-up coach. We're going to jump up to the contact page in the top left corner. And so we have our contact status tabs: new, engaged, future, active, closed, follow-up coach. So let's click on it. So as you can see, 5 contacts across the screen, a lot less intimidating than potentially 500 or 5,000 contacts. So let's look at an example of what you could expect to see as a new user. I'm going to look at Marva Wilson. Says she's a future contact. Last touch July 6th. And it's going to say in purple, schedule a follow-up to ensure imported contacts don't fall through the cracks. So it's really saying that you need to tell the follow-up coach who this person is so that it can start helping you further. So let's go ahead and click on follow-up and see what else it says. So it's going to elaborate, and it's going to say update their pipeline status, contact type, and who they should be assigned to. So exactly as I was saying, let's take care of all of that at the same time, because maybe we realize within a few seconds, hey, wait a second, Marva is actually a past client of ours. She doesn't belong in future. She doesn't need that sphere of influence tag. So let's go down to edit contact at the bottom and take care of all of this at once. Let's scroll down in the edit screen. What we're most interested in here is contact status and contact types. So let's change Marva to closed. That was the last action. We completed a transaction with her. Let's remove the sphere of influence tag and instead add on a past client tag. And guys, feel free to add in whatever else is relevant to your contacts here. Like, let's say she was a past buyer. I can tag her with something like that. Maybe she was a family friend. I can tag her with that. Maybe we helped her buy a single family home. I can tag her with that. So on and so forth until I have every relevant contact type that I want on this contact. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. And actually, maybe I even want to set the source. Maybe, referral, right? And then click on Save Contact. So guys, just like that, very minimal effort, Marva is now much more organized in my database. She's set to closed. We have these great contact types that we can use to include her in specific searches and lists and so on and so forth. And at a glance, just really see what she was all about in case we forget. So now we can click on Mark Done, right? Well, now the follow-up coach is going to ask how we reached out. So we haven't, right? But this could be a great opportunity to do so. So we could go back for 1 sec. We could give Marva a call. We could go to emails, send her an email. We could send her a text message, check in with her, and then click Mark Done. Tell the follow-up coach, let's say we called Marva, had been a while. She's doing well and enjoying the new house. Marva mentioned she really appreciated my services and may have a friend that needs help buying a new home as well. And so obviously that would be like an ideal situation, but just showing you as an example, we called out to Marva, we've documented the notes about this touch. We can schedule a follow-up right away. Let's say follow up on potential referral. And let's say we're going to set this to the end of the week to remind ourselves to call out to Marva and check in and see how it's going with that referral and save that wrap up. So that's taking care of everything at once. That's completed. The notes are saved. The next task is scheduled. I'm going to see it on my task list, on my calendar, and so on and so forth. Let's close this. And we see Marva is now completed. So guys, you can see just how easy that was to be reminded of Marva, clean up her record, be reminded to contact her, and then get the ball rolling with some new business opportunities all at the same time. And you can imagine, I was doing this as a walkthrough, but if you guys got into the flow of this on your own, no interruptions, you could blast through this in no time. And so guys, my challenge to you would be to try to get in there, take care of your tasks day to day. Maybe you have a little bit of time after a lunch or sometime, late afternoon or whatever. Feel free to jump into the follow-up coach, see what else is waiting for you to improve your database, improve your business, do some extra prospecting for those opportunities that may have been there all along. I think you'll be very, very pleased with the results, guys. It's a great tool that's going to give you an edge over, other agents in your area that do not have something like this. So that being said, before we finish off today, just want to run a quick little poll again about the follow-up coach. So now that you've seen the follow-up coach in action, I just want to see how you guys feel about that. Are you ready to get your database on track, continue to build and nurture your relationships with the help of the follow-up coach? So yeah, maybe you aim to use it to 10 to 5 contacts a day, every single day as much as possible. Or maybe you really like it, but you're just not sure yet. That's totally okay. Or maybe you're just completely undecided. That's totally okay too. Just want to see how you guys feel about that, because it's a feature that I highly advocate for, to just make the most of your database, clean it up, and make sure no one falls through the cracks. And while we're waiting for that, what I'm going to do is let's jump into what some next steps are, guys. So next steps, you set up your CRM or you've gained some insight on how to do so. Well, you can always contact customer care. You can view our list of quick start videos for Top Producer X to learn more. And you can always register for our other webinars and shows, or watch previous recordings, reference articles and walkthroughs on our support page, and much more. So let me show you how to access some of this. So a couple different ways. You can, from your top producer, click on the top right corner on the little profile picture button to the right of the search bar, and then click on support site. And this will launch you into our support page. As Marvin has mentioned in the live chat here, you can also go to topproducer.com/campus to access the exact same site. And also just really quick on that poll, got some good votes on there. So that's pretty awesome, guys. Thank you so much for the participation. I had a couple people say, yes, we'll aim to use it to 10 to 5 contacts a day. I really like this, but not sure yet. Awesome, guys. Glad I could show you that, show you what the, the opportunities are there and what the potential is. And yeah, just think of it this way. After you use it to get your database on track, it's actually going to start providing you with super relevant insights and suggestions day to day for your new leads, for your past clients, sphere of influence, etc. So really nice. All right, so yeah, jumping back to the support page, guys, we do have our video library as mentioned in the middle. Quick start videos covering everything from importing contacts, using the follow-up coach, customizing your pipeline with custom tabs, and much, much more. So click into that if you love quick videos, 2.5, 3, 4 minutes long in most cases. You can browse through different articles for all of our products here. You can look at popular topics. You can also use our live chat through here. And our business hours and support number are always at the bottom of the page. And if you scroll all the way up to the top, you can search by keyword. Maybe you want to know how to manage transactions in Top Producer X. Just type in transactions. And then you'll see adding a transaction, transactions, so on and so forth here. And guys, up here, product updates. This will take you to our blog so you can find out more. You can join our Facebook user group up here. And you can view our webinar schedule to see all the different other shows we do, coaching and otherwise. So right now you have just finished watching Getting Started with Top Producer X on the 26th. If you go back to these other shows, you can click on them and watch the recordings on YouTube anytime. You can join in tomorrow with my colleague, I believe it's Dan Salcedo on this one. Or sorry, Glenn Doyle, I believe. Glenn will be walking through upgrading from Top Producer Classic to Top Producer X if you want to learn more about that. And then join Marvin and I on Thursday, 28th, for 4 things you'll want to know after you set up Top Producer X, guys, to delve into some real nitty-gritty day-to-day CRM usage, best practices, pro tips, and much more. And then, yeah, we also have a 5-Street webinar on Friday. That one is with Dan Salcedo, also on our Tier 2 team. I'm going to walk you through what it means to, actively jump on those leads, convert them with the use of our 5-Street product, sending out automated lead responses in 30 seconds or less, and bringing all your lead sources into one consolidated place as well. So guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for bearing with us. I know it's a lot of content to cover, but guys, take some time to absorb it. Take a look at all the other resources we have to offer. Contact us if you need anything. And, there's much more time to learn, right? So this is just the beginning. Reach out to our customer care team for that one-on-one coaching experience, guys, as often as you need, and we'd be happy to help you. We want to make sure you're successful with Top Producer. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of know-how, and I promise that this is something that will give you a huge edge over your competition, guys. All that past data there for your past clients, nurturing your new leads, making sure they're followed up with, documenting everything of interest, so on and so forth. Let your CRM be your go-to hub for your real estate business, guys, and you will benefit greatly. So guys, thanks a lot for joining in here today. Once again, this has been Spencer with Top Producer's Customer Success Team, joined by Marvin on our research team in the live chat. Good to have you here. See you next time. Join us on Thursday if you like. Till then, guys, welcome to Top Producer if you're brand new. Welcome to Top Producer X if you're just brand new to TPX. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Take care.